academic qualifications, their agents, and all that. Now, remember, out of the 225 that picked nomination forms, 41, at least 41, had returned signatures. Now, it was the Electoral Commission to verify, are these real signatures? Are these people, isn't there duplication? Isn't there forgery? Have you collected all that? So you await to see if we shall have more, fulfill the requirements, or if we shall remain with the 5 only. Remember, by closure of business yesterday at around 8, we still had over 20 of the aspirants camping at the Electoral Commission offices industrial area, claiming that they were told by closure of business they'll have sufficient information regarding their fate. But by that time, they had received no communication, and they decided to camp at the offices. But later, I saw police from Kabalagala police station move in swing. Well, we don't know the fate of that. How did it end? Did they vacate? Are they still there? But we wait to see how the day will move on. Now, on set, I have Chidia Ismail, who is from Uganda Young Democrats and the President Emeritus. Now, he is also aspiring for, well, I'll leave him to say that, because for today, my major interest is regarding presidential nominations. Good morning and welcome to the set.
Good morning, Robert. I'm happy to be on UBC once again. The viewers, Chidia Ismail is my name. I'm the president of the Uganda Young Democrats Emeritus, and I'm also the president Young Democracy Union of Africa Emeritus. I'm also aspiring member of parliament, Jinja Southeast constituency. I'm really happy to be here on UBC.
First, I don't know, no, I can't say you're a neutral person in this, because still you also follow under the opposition. But this time around, first things first, Democratic Party, you don't have a presidential candidate.
Yes, we don't. Now, according to now those who are leading the party, they saw that we can't field a candidate, which is somehow interesting, because, you know, challenging the current government or the president of the Republic of Uganda, it is not about personality, but it is about issues. For the last 40 years, we have come out to speak about these issues, the fundamental human rights, the constitutionalism and rule of law, the nepotism, corruption. Now, I just want now to wonder whether these issues are now no longer happening or not. So, but the biggest issue right now is that the Democratic Party doesn't have a candidate, but still we fall under the opposition, which means that actually still, however much we don't have a candidate, we can choose someone who has now issues which we have been speaking about for the last 40 years.
What is befalling traditional parties or old political parties? I'll take an example of UPC. UPC has no candidate over court battles.
Yes.
Talk about DP. DP has no candidate.
Yeah.
These are the indigenous, if I may use that word, indigenous political parties. They have been around. We expect they understand things maybe, if you are to go by experience, more than other political parties. Whatever you could give as a reason, one would find it very hard to believe that you do not have a candidate.
Actually, it is very, very hard for someone to believe that actually the Democratic Party doesn't have a candidate. But I can tell you, Robert, and the viewers of UBC, that right now politics has now become something like a mediocrity. It is no longer serious as it was. If you try to reflect 20 years back, 25 years back, we really just assess from now, right now, what we are going through when we are now nominating candidates. It's like now we are not going into a political season. Everything is normal, everything is moving at its own pace, and so on. But I can just tell you that actually the times we have come on challenging President Museveni we had had several issues challenging the president. And one of the things we have come out to challenge President Museveni was to overstay in power. You understand? But before I go to that point, the problem now we are facing in opposition, actually the reason why this term, 2026, or this presidential campaigns, President Museveni is most likely actually to take us to win by 60, over 60% or a figure just next to 60%. Why? Because what we have been challenging President Museveni of, we are again doing it more. We are worse compared to what we have been challenging President Museveni. I've just brought you an example of we have been challenging President Museveni of overstay in power. When President Museveni actually removed the term limit in 2005, for us as Democratic Party, we were actually at the, when he was removing the term limits, we were actually at the streets challenging President Museveni, why are you removing term limits? Why is it happening like that? Because we thought the Constitution had a speed governor. In case there is bad governance, in case there is something which is not going astray, or because of a lot of authority, a lot of power, a lot of money, it can make someone actually overstay in power. So the Constitution had some speed governor, that yes, a president can rule for 2 terms. President moved these 2 terms. Now, when it comes now to those who are challenging President Museveni for the 2 terms, if you look at them, they have not implemented it in their internal democracy. I want to tell you, Robert, and the viewers, that the problem we have in Uganda, we have not understood what we term as political party dispensation.
We've not understood it.
All of us, actually even the leaders, it is only actually few of us who really understand the political party dispensation. Political parties, you can actually equate it to religions. When I'm Ismail, there is what you expect out of me when I'm here at UBC. If you bring a drink, there is what you're not supposed to bring.
I can't serve you pork.
Exactly. When I go to Rome, Italy, there is how I'm supposed to behave because I'm a Muslim. I don't change because I've gone to Rome. Now, that also carries the same sense to other religions. Now, in political parties, you are supposed to challenge the status quo basing on the alternative. Now, we have been challenging President Museveni. You have overstayed in power. What have those who are challenging him done as far as overstaying in power is concerned?
They have done the same.
In their internal...
They have done the same.
The same. You understand? Democracy and rule of law. I think you try actually to put a litmus paper in each and every political party in opposition. You'll find that actually the system which President Museveni put forward is better off than the system which is being carried in the internal processes of the political party.
Well, anytime from now,
just
hold it at that. Anytime from now, I'll be moving to Ruvowa. We are already there with Timothy Nyangweso, who is going to be speaking to the spokesperson of the Electoral Commission, and will be giving us more. Yes, Timothy.
Welcome to the Electoral Commission here in Lueza, and we are back on day 2 of the nominations of the aspirants that then will turn into being candidates. We expect the arrival of Nandala Mafabi in a short while. We assume that by 10 he will be here, but I also want to let you know that the commissioners have all arrived. The chairperson has also arrived, and the deputies plus the 5 commissioners have all arrived here to be able to commence with the process of the nomination of the candidates today. So far, the confirmation we have from the Electoral Commission, unless it changes otherwise, are 2. The Honorable Nandala Mafabi will be here to be able to become the candidate for the Forum for Democratic Change, and then we'll be able to move on later on in the afternoon. The other candidate that, aspirant that has been confirmed is the Honorable Robert Sentamu Chagulanyi. That will be here at 2 p.m. There is a lot of rumors going around, but we will wait for confirmation from the chairperson, Justice Simon Biawakama, to let us know if there are any other candidates that will be coming in and what time has been allotted to them to be able to go through the process of verification. And briefly, just to give you what will be happening in the short while, the commissioners have arrived, plus the deputy and the chairperson, Justice Biawakama, moved back to their tent at the back to get themselves ready. They'll have a procession where they'll walk all the way from their tent all the way into the main tent here. They'll take their seats and then we'll be ushered in. We'll have a prayer, we'll get into the anthems, and when we're done with the anthems, the candidate who will be seated in the waiting area right there will then process in and walk in, and then he'll be able to make an address to the, he will walk in with the 20 people that are seconding him. He will have his seat. His documents will be taken to the technical team. The technical team will verify the documents, especially his academic documents, his curriculum vitae, and all where he says he approves to be nominated as a candidate for the Forum for Democratic Change. He will have his 20 people here to second him, his agent, a proponent, and also a seconder. As the verification goes on, we will move on to where either he'll be declared or not declared, where something is amiss if that happens. But when it is done and is declared, he will walk up and pick his documents, sign. He's given a flash drive of the National Register, the National Voters Register. That's the flash drive is given to each candidate. It is given. He will walk out and then he will proceed to where you see the security cars. One of these cars will be deployed to him as his personal security, and that car will have a team of city police that will be seated in it, and that team will then depart with him. Then he will officially be a candidate. He can then proceed to where his first rally will be, and that's exactly where he will be mentioning exactly what he'll be doing. FDC is the only party that has given out its manifesto and knows exactly what it wants to do. It has discussed how it wants to deal with the economy, basically for all Ugandans, but also to discuss the social issues that affect Ugandans in health, education, and it has been comprehensively. It was launched both by Honorable Oboy Amriat, the president of the FDC, and Honorable Nandala Mafabi, who is the flag bearer. Also, to give you a bit of background, that the presidency or the flag bearer of the FDC was vied for by two candidates, Amriat and Nandala Mafabi, where Amriat decided to stand down to allow Nandala Mafabi to become the flag bearer for the presidency there. And he will come in. We expect him in a short while, and we also expect that everything will go well. Day one was very smooth with all the candidates there, but a lot of hiccups that happened at the headquarters of the Electoral Commission on the 7th Street there, and we hope that some changes will be happening if they are communicated by the chairperson in a short while. But some of his seconders are here. Some of the people from the Forum for Democratic Change are here, members of parliament that fall under the Forum for Democratic Change are here to speak to some of us. Some of them are in the tents having refreshments, and we hope to have them in a short while to be here to be able to speak to us and let us know exactly what will be happening. When the candidate is done with being pronounced as a candidate, they proceed to be able to get their transportation and the security in there. And when they leave the security part, they will come, and this is the podium where they will stand to be able to address the media. And when they're here, Honorable Ekanya, I see you. Please come and join me here. I have the Honorable Ekanya here, who is one of the members of the Forum for Democratic Change. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, my brother. How are you? And greetings to all the people of Uganda. One people, one Uganda.
You look very smart, very ready to second or be a proponent.
No, I'm going second, but this is my trademark. I'm ever smart.
What do you expect, especially as your aspirant comes in today? What are your expectations?
My expectation is that he will be nominated, and after nomination, we'll have a procession to our ground in Nakawa at Kasokoso, where the average Ugandans live, because we want to resonate. FDC has to resonate with the ordinary Ugandans, because part of our policy is fixing the economy, money in people's pocket, fixing the economy, getting rid of the slums. That's why we are taking our rally to Kasokoso.
But the Honorable, they said no procession, so you're supposed to be just moving straight to your grounds.
Thousands of supporters. You can term it procession, but we have thousands of supporters who will follow us to the venue where we shall launch our policy programs and address the country.
So what are your expectations? What are you going to tell people? You've talked about money in people's pockets. You've talked about the economy. What is it that people should come for to listen to you in Kasokoso that is going to be any different from what has been said before?
Part of our policy is to sort out the security question of this country. The men and women in uniform, police, arm, and prison, need to be protected, need to be guaranteed that in their commitment to defend this country, they have a strong foundation. We want to give them security in terms of health. A wife and children of any military officer, the army and police, must have free access to education up to university, to any school of their choice, free. From primary, secondary, tertiary, and university. They can choose to go in government or private. Free of choice, paid by the state. Second, an armed officer, a military officer, a policeman must have free access to health service, to any institution of their choice, whether government or private. Once that is done in this country, nobody will take advantage of using army men, policemen, and prisoners for their individual benefit. They will be in service and loyal to the citizens of Uganda. That's a fundamental policy shift that the people of Uganda should expect from the FDC.
That is an amazing shift. My last question to you, Honorable. Do you expect it to be a fair ground for this electoral process for you as the Forum for Democratic Change, looking at what happened in 2021 to the Honorable Oboy Amriat?
We don't expect. We know that this regime is bent on intimidating and harassing. We are going there ready to face the challenge ahead. Life is not simple. As FDC, it is going to be a struggle. We have to push. We are pushing a defiance to make sure. Last week had a homecoming of Honorable Nandala. We were brutalized, beaten in Iganga, tear gas, cars damaged. It is an unfortunate situation that we call upon the police to stop brutalizing Ugandans. The situation we suffer in Iganga is not warranted and should not. They should know that we are a very peaceful party. We are committed to following the law, and we will work. We want to work with them to ensure that we have peaceful election, free of violence, because we do not support violence.
Have you worked on a program on how your campaign is going to be carried out across the 146 districts until January the 12th?
Yes, after nomination, we will have a meeting with the Electoral Commission to harmonize our program. But internally, we have a program we hope to move to all the constituencies of Uganda. We are mobilizing resources and we are fundraising. We have nominated parliamentary candidates in several parts of the country. Where we do not have parliamentary candidates, we are forming partnership with the other political parties like the UPC. We want to work with some independent MPs, because most of these people here do not believe in NRM. Some of them are conscripted. So we are telling them that the doors and the windows of FDC is open. We will support those candidates who are willing to work with us. We have nominated councillors in every part of the country.
All the best today, and I wish you a very good day, a fruitful day. Blessings to you too, sir. Thank you, sir. So you have heard from Honorable Ikanya there, and that's exactly what is going to be happening for them here. He is here to endeavor that he seconds the nomination of his aspirant, the Honorable Nandala Mafabi. And Nandala Mafabi has a track record, especially if you look in hindsight, where he led the Public Accounts Committee, and it was very vocal, especially when it comes to things like accountability, corruption, and those were some of the fundamental things that got him to become a national legislator. He moved on to getting into areas where he was holding government accountable in there. He was the Secretary General of the Forum for Democratic Change. He vied to become the flag bearer of the party, and now he is. Two of the members are already here to ensure that he's seconded. A candidate is supposed to come in here with only 20 people. 20 people to escort them in, and when they leave, no procession is allowed, because they do not want to antagonize business or anything happening within the business sector. They will be going to Kasokoso, as you heard, to ensure that they meet the people on ground, to lay out their manifesto, which they already did, to ensure that, as the Honorable said, money in people's pockets, the economy needs to put upright, but also he went on as far as talking about education that is needed and health services for the men in uniform or who are in service with us. We are expecting that in a short while, we would be seeing the Honorable Nandala Mafabi driving through those gates right there. Those are the only gates that are permitted for aspirants to drive through. He will be parked here, later on let into the waiting tent. In the waiting tent, he will be able to move in. But from us here, we'll keep you updated on what will be happening with the election, comes through, bring it.
Well, thank you, Timothy. There at the headquarters, the proposed site for the headquarters of the Electoral Commission. And of course, what is happening live there is inside all seems set to receive Honorable Nandala Mafabi. Now, today is the second day, and unless anything changes, it is also the final day, because it was the 23rd and 24th dates that were earmarked for nomination. 3 were successfully nominated yesterday, and we wait today for Nandala Mafabi, Honorable FDC, and NUPS Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu at 2 as on the program. Now, coming back to the studios, first and foremost, according to what Timothy said, you have to come with 20 people, not more than 20 people. We saw His Excellency arrive in a van with his people. We saw all the 3 candidates yesterday abiding by that. No procession from the venue.
Yes.
The permission you have or is given to you is, yes, you can hold your first rally at a certain venue in comparison with the law. You must have followed procedure that is necessary for you to carry on a venue. What do you make of this organization and the rules that follow?
Yeah, those are rules of security, but sometimes I think they are somehow influenced by someone whom I can't know, but I think let us actually just understand that actually, even to make it to nominate, it is a point, and it is a success which is ought to be celebrated.
Just you being nominated.
Exactly. You saw how many people picked nomination forms?
225.
225. How many are being nominated?
So far we have 5. That
yes, we have 5, but we may, at most it may be 10. Now, that act only, going to the ballot as the presidential candidate in Uganda, it is worthy to be celebrated. Now, limiting 20 people, it is really okay, but it is not good for the momentum of the Republic of Uganda. Because really some people actually don't have time to analyze candidates. Some people don't have time to follow candidates. Some people don't have time to follow issues. But some people actually base on the number of people who have actually taken up on the side of a certain candidate. So if you limit some, the people who are supposed to move with the candidates, then you're doing a disservice, not only to the candidates, but to the Ugandans. Because some others actually follow basing on Ismail. Ismail has followed Robert. Yes, I think Robert is good and so on. So it is a good issue according to security, but it is trying to water down the momentum which Ugandans built ever since multi-party dispensation came up in Uganda. You understand, right now actually it's like we are not in a campaign period.
Why do you say so?
Yesterday.
We've not yet opened campaigns.
Yes, we have not yet opened.
Yes, campaigns.
It is true, we have not yet opened.
Yes.
But I've told you that someone making it to the ballot, it is worth it to be celebrated. But now if you limit someone just to come, a presidential candidate, for the whole Uganda, you limit him to 20 people, it is really absurd.
Because so this is a person who is going to hold a rally after all. His first rally is going to be held at a venue in conformity with the law, like President Yoweri Museveni did yesterday.
Yes.
He came with his 20 people to the venue.
Yes.
But what was in Kololo, it was a forest of people.
Yes, that's why I'm not only speaking in terms of the side of the opposition, but all the candidates. For example, the president. You can't limit the president, 20 people. At least give them 200 people. They're not much.
To which
for the president? A full president. If you're saying that actually every district is giving them 100 signatures, then you say 20. So how you're actually giving him even problems actually to select who is going to be with me on the nomination and so on. So it is a good narrative, yes, but somehow it is somehow weakening that kind of momentum and the political situation which we're having in Uganda. Because now, these are some of the things which actually some people outside Uganda could actually start now following the politics of the Republic of Uganda. But if you now limit it to someone, an MP, because an MP is supposed to be with
looking at the screen, it seems like the Honorable Nandala Mafabi has arrived at the venue in Lubowa. That is the proposed site for the headquarters of the Electoral Commission, where the nomination of presidential candidates is taking place. That was yesterday and today. So as it looks of now, I see someone entering that tent, the waiting tent that was put by the Electoral Commission before a candidate is called upon, and his seconders there. So it seems, yes, the Honorable Nandala Mafabi or a team from the FDC, but of course we shall confirm that. The number is 20 that you're supposed to come with as of the rules governing the event. Every candidate must come with 20 people, not more than that, and will leave with no procession. But they have allowed them to have a rally, call it the first rally. And after that, campaigns will officially be opened on, that is the 29th of September, and they will run to the 12th of January. So from 29th of September, which is this month, to the 12th of January, then campaigns will officially be opened. They'll traverse the country. But on the 25th and 27th, each candidate that will qualify, we already have 3 that will qualify, will have to send an agent or be present physically for harmonization of their campaign program. What do we mean? That if someone is in Machindi, you don't have 2 presidential candidates at the same spot, because this can create chaos and all that. That the Electoral Commission and them will harmonize where will you be on which date and what time, so that our supporters don't collide, so that in case someone wanted to listen to you and listen to the other person, they can program themselves and be able to have all the views of these candidates. So it is how things are going to be running. And of course, so far we have 3 confirmed presidential candidates. And looking at events unfolding, yes, also the FDC candidate, Honorable Nandala Mafabi, will, anytime the program will commence. I saw some bit of arrivals there leading to the waiting tent. I can't confirm as of now if he is among them or that is just part of his team that has arrived. But I'm still with my guest in studios here, and you talked about the number being given to candidates. Of course, they give security reasons, and another is, of course, space. Then the processions, not to inconvenience other people. That is why there are even traffic guidelines. Which roads should be used, there are diversions, some have been cut off, and all seems to be moving on very well as of yesterday. Now, earlier on in your submission, you mentioned something that I find strange. You're a member of the opposition.
Yes.
We are in the nomination process. And here you come up and say that the NRM candidate this time is going even to win bigger. I mean, what makes you think this?
Yes, I've just actually explained that basing on what we have been challenging President Museveni for the last 40 years, it's like now for us we have actually worsened them more than President Museveni or the person we have been challenging. Literally, when we are voting, as far as political parties are concerned, we vote basing on the alternatives. Now, if actually the citizens of Uganda start voting the presidential candidates basing on the issues that have been actually challenging President Museveni. For example, we have been challenging President Museveni for basically 3 things. Other things have been following in these 3 things. 1, fundamental human rights. We have been all over radio stations, TV stations, human rights have been violated and so on. And what we have been picking out as the opposition is only one component of security. There is abductions, there is what, but human rights are bigger.
Broad.
They are broad. You understand? Let us try, if Ugandans are very keen on electing the best president, let us actually go down to political parties to see and analyze how have they handled human rights. Do members have freedom of speech?
We have some even where we are told is not corrected.
You understand that? Exactly. Now, if that one,
slogans on my way there.
and you're making that one because you don't have this component of security. Now, this one is the one having the component of security, is using it that way. But for you have now this component of now allowing people to speak, to have freedom of speech. And you're not allowing them. You understand? Then there is a star there. You understand? Constitutionalism and rule of law. How far have you adhered to the law? Do you know that actually we have put President Museveni at the wall of actually the Electoral Commission. Is the one appointing the chairman of the Electoral Commission, is the one appointing the company which is printing ballots, is the one now transferring these ballots from the abroad to here to your polling stations. How is it handled in your political party? When you're changing leadership, for example, how is it handled there?
You're the one appointing.
In my political parties, actually, it is worse. If you want any position in Democratic Party at the national level, you are supposed to apply to the Secretary General, who is also a candidate. You understand? The Secretary General sits to vet also, who is now to come against me as a Secretary General. You understand? Now, if that one is also not happening well in your internal democracy, if you get the power which President Museveni has, then for you will be worse off than President Museveni. You understand? The other thing is about ensuring justice. We need justice for everybody. How has it been happening? How is it in your political party? Now, Ugandans are supposed to start electing basing on how people are behaving in their political parties. Because once we give you power, for example, Forum for Democratic Change, which is nominating today, once we give the power to Forum Democratic Change, we expect them to lead the Republic of Uganda basing on how they behave in their political party. You understand? But that's what Ugandans don't know. If we are giving power, for example, to any UP, we are going to expect them to lead us just the way they lead themselves in their internal democracy. You understand? So, if we are now to transfer how NUP, how FDC, how Democratic Party lead themselves internally to the now national politics, would Ugandans be happy with how they are going to be led? I think, are you getting my point? So, in that narrative, I think there is need now to have a sensitization of political parties. So that even us in the political parties, we understand what is a political party. What do I mean if I put on a green color? What do I mean if I put these two fingers? What does that mean? What does it mean if I put a fist? What does it mean if I put
thumb?
A thumb. You understand? All these things have reasons. But Ugandans just follow the wave, color, friendship, and so on. Now, right now, President Museveni has now put us at a very hard corner. If you try now to compare President Museveni with the opposition, you find that actually President Museveni is better off than the opposition. So, there is a very big problem. Now,
don't you feel it's a shame to the opposition?
It is a very big shame.
That your competitor would be NRM, but unfortunately it seems your competitor is your fellow members.
It is a very big shame. Did you try to follow the NRM primaries?
Yes.
Did you see?
Mm.
They had to go into the people. The people voted. However crooked it was, but there was...
Well, the chairman of the Electoral Commission, Justice Simon Byabakama, is entering into the main venue where the nomination exercise is going to be taking place. And of course, with other commissioners of the Electoral Commission. He will be taking his seat and thereafter communicate to the public. There's so much we are eager to hear from him. And one and most important is, are we having any more candidates apart from the 5 by closure of business yesterday that we knew very well had qualified? Will we see any more others? Will we see an extension, or does it end today? So that is one of the things we are waiting to hear from him, and also to know issues regarding, regarding, and many are wondering, are those that said we need a comment on what transpired yesterday, because I want to believe you got that information. Those, the over 20 that camped at industrial area at the Electoral Commission offices, who claimed that they had fulfilled what was required, and this was a technical knockout for them. So that we wait, and of course he will be telling us more when Nandala Mafabi arrives. After perusing through, will he qualify? Yesterday we saw Elton Mabili's his academic documents had issues, but he was able to go and rectify that and get the verification, then bring it, and he was duly nominated. So there's so much, Justice Simon Byabakama, we are expecting from you. Now I see they have stood up, and maybe any time from now we shall have the day's activity commence. Well, let's first go to the venue.
Thank you very much. Now I will invite Sheikh Waiswa and Reverend Father Musitwa to come over here and lead us in a prayer for the second day and last day. And I would like to invite our sign language, one of the sign language interpreters to come here. They are somewhere here. To lead us in prayer, and then we will begin. Sheikh Waiswa.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. We seek refuge from the cursed devil. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of the Almighty God, the compassionate, the merciful. Praise be to thee, the cherisher and sustainer of the worlds. We thank you, Lord, for the smooth beginning yesterday. We thank you for all that transpired during the day. We again beseech your divine guidance, wisdom, and understanding to be able to accomplish the nomination exercise today. As we dedicate our nation into your divine hands for the national election exercise, we pray, Almighty God, that you will ever be there to protect, guide, and be able to attain us a victorious end. In your mighty name we pray.
In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. God, our loving Father, we thank you yet for this wonderful good day. Thank you for this country. We pray that you may give us a peaceful process today, just as it was yesterday. We pray for all our leaders, those who want to take the responsibility, that may be true leaders, servants ready to serve the country. We pray for the voters that may also vote wisely. We continue to pray for the Electoral Commission and all the processes. Good Lord, have mercy on us, send us your Spirit, let everything run smoothly. We make this prayer through Christ our Lord.
Thank you very much. You may take your seats. You may take your seats. My name is Julius Muchunguzi. I am the spokesperson of the Electoral Commission and emceeing this occasion. We welcome you to the EC grounds in Rubowa, and I will not take much time. I'll right away request the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Justice Byabakama Mugenyi Simon, to welcome you to this occasion to which he is host. Lord Chairperson.
Thank you, Julius, the Deputy Chairperson, Commissioners, Your Excellencies, the Ambassadors and Heads of Missions, Interreligious Council, and all our distinguished guests. Good morning and you're welcome. Now, today is the second day of our nomination exercise for those wishing to contest for the office of the President of the Republic of Uganda. Yesterday, as mentioned, we had a successful day where we nominated 3 candidates. And before we departed, I indicated that as of 4 p.m. yesterday, we're expecting 2 aspirants today. However, late in the evening, I was informed that another one had been cleared, and that is General Mugisha Muntu. He will also be coming in due course. And if there is any other who may have been cleared, we shall notify the guests and give him or her an opportunity also to appear and get nominated. So with those few remarks, I want to thank you. I want to also appreciate the media. Thank you for coming once again. Yesterday, you did a fantastic job. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Lord Chairperson of the Electoral Commission. For those that are joining us for the first time today, Lord Chairperson, with your indulgence, I would like to let them know who the people are on this high table, so that they know who is there and who is the host of this occasion. You have already known the chairperson, Justice Byabakama Mugenyi Simon, and I will start from the extreme left with Commissioner Honorable Anthony Okello. And then there is Commissioner Dr. Simba Kayunga Sali. We have the Deputy Chairperson, Hajat Aisha Rubega. Next to the chairperson is Commissioner Honorable Stephen Tashobya. We have Commissioner Carol Beinamario. We have Commissioner Peter Emorud. And we have Mr. Richard Kamchababo, the Secretary of the Commission. So those are your hosts. That is what we call the Commission. I will now, your indulgence, Chairperson, request protocol to bring in the first aspirant for the second day. The first aspirant on day 2 of the nominations of candidates for presidential elections is walking in the tent, and he is Mr. Nandala Mafabi of the Forum for Democratic Change, accompanied by the people that he has asked to invite. He has invited to accompany him and have been extended an invitation by the Commission. Protocol team will show you where to sit and how to sit, and we thank the protocol team for an excellent job that you are doing. You may please take your seats. And I now have the pleasure, Lord Chairperson of the Electoral Commission, to request you to take up the exercise and guide us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Would like to welcome the first aspirant of today with his entourage. May I now ask that the aspirant presents his papers. The nominator, second, are they present? So that the papers can be scrutinized. You can send your agent to bring the papers, your agent. Okay.
This exercise is guided by the Presidential Elections Act, and every step of the way that you are seeing, those who are here and those who are following this exercise across the country and across the world, follows every detail of that provision of those provisions of the Presidential Elections Act, which, among other things, require that the aspirant will present his nomination papers, nomination form filled in triplicate, in 3 copies. So they will check that that form is there. They also check to confirm that the aspirant has consented to be nominated. So there is that declaration that is also should be among those documents. The team of the commission, the commission has instructed its technical team, where you see those images. Those are technical team of the Electoral Commission, from the legal department, from voter data management, from election management, from field operations. They are examining those papers. They will check to confirm that the aspirant is a registered voter, because that is one of the first requirements for a candidate or an aspirant for that matter. And being a registered voter presupposes already that he is a citizen of Uganda by birth, that he is 18 years and above. The law requires that anybody or somebody to contest for the seat of president must have attained a certain level of education, a minimum of A level, advanced level standard, senior 6 in our is a way of describing it. So they are checking to confirm that the aspirant went to school, that he went to school. Yes, these are very important. Very important. The first one, the first aspiration to be the first citizen. So, and they will check also to confirm that that requirement of demonstrating that you secured, that he secured at least 100 supporters from 2/3 of the districts in Uganda, which when computed comes to 98 districts, and therefore a minimum of 9,800 supporters from across the country, that was also fulfilled, and that there is a certificate to that effect. They must also check and be sure that the aspirant has already paid the non-refundable nomination fee of 20 million Uganda shillings. He must also have attached the required photographs, which, when successful, will feature on the ballot paper. He also indicated before he leaves here that he has appointed an agent, an official agent, who will become the point of liaison as the process proceeds. The Presidential Elections Act states that somebody can contest for the seat of president either representing a political party or sponsored by a political party, or they can come as independents. In the case of a candidate or aspirant representing a political party, the symbol they will use is the symbol of their political party. And for the independents, they, before they leave, if they have been and when they have been successfully nominated, they will leave with a symbol allocated to them by the Electoral Commission. So briefly, that is what is happening, and that is what is required, and the so we wait to hear from the examination and verification of those. So even this day, these 2 days of yesterday, 23rd of September, and today, 24th of September, they are They are defined in the law, the Presidential Elections Act, Section 8. On appointment of nomination days, it says that the commission shall issue a notice in the Gazette appointing 2 days during which the nomination of candidates are take place. That's what the law says. So these days are anchored in the law. And the commission did do that. It announced these dates. And we have been talking about them. They look to be very far, but here they are now. We are here. The last one is today. And that in that gazette, they will indicate, the commission will indicate the places and times fixed for the nomination of candidates and the hours for each nomination day. And that place where this exercise has to take place must be a public space, public place, such as a courthouse, a city or town hall, a community center, or any other public or private building in a central place. Fortunately, for today, for this particular nomination of 2025-2026 general election, for the first time in the history of the Electoral Commission, this nomination exercise is taking place in the premises, on the grounds owned by the Electoral Commission. I know you're not allowed to clap, but that is a milestone. But don't, please don't, please don't. It is to take note that this particular nomination is taking place on the grounds of the Electoral Commission, where the commission is going to have its first ever permanently owned headquarters. Rubowa, Rweza, Makindye Sabagabo. And everybody who has been here so far, from yesterday, some did not want to leave because the ambience, the place is nice. So, yes, the place is very nice. So, yes, and when this is the place that Ugandans we should celebrate, because it's their home. Because the commission is the commission of the people of Uganda. The holders of the offices are in the service of the people of Uganda. The facility here is for the people of Uganda. Earlier I had mentioned that you see there is a big book in front of Commissioner Stephen Tashobya. That book is called the Compendium of Electoral Laws. All laws governing elections in the country are in that book. And all the commissioners and everybody has copies of that. I know the other copies are just around here. So they define everything there need to be in organizing elections. The secretary of the commission is now going to the chairperson. as we await the type of smoke, whether it is black or white. So I was reading for you some sections and elements of the Presidential Elections Act. Just to, I know you know, but just to remind ourselves. Section 9 speaks about sponsorship of candidates by political parties, and it says,
Thank you, Julius, for that voter education exercise. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we were verifying the papers of the aspirant. It has taken some bit of time, but that's what we're required to do. We are required to be meticulous and ensure that everything is in order. We verified these papers and we find everything is okay. He has satisfied the requirements laid out in the Presidential Elections Act. Therefore, I, Justice Byabakama Mugenyi Simon, being the returning officer for the nomination of presidential candidates, declare Nandala Mafabi James Nathan a duly nominated candidate in respect of the presidential elections 2026, he having fulfilled the nomination requirements under the Presidential Elections Act, Chapter 179, Laws of Uganda. Congratulations. All right. Now, candidate Nandala Mafabi James Nathan. As a duly nominated candidate, you are required to observe the following. 1, you are to appoint an official agent who will coordinate your campaign meetings and media program, and also attend meetings on your behalf where necessary. Secondly, you are to avail the commission with a schedule of your campaign meetings and media program as soon as practicable to facilitate the smooth harmonization of all the candidates' campaign programs countrywide. And thirdly, you are to sign a memorandum of understanding with the Electoral Commission in compliance with the harmonized campaign program, timelines, and guidelines. May I now therefore ask you or your agent to sign this nomination document to confirm you have been duly nominated. Yeah, please, just the correct page. Yeah, just here. Yes. All right. You walked in an aspirant, now you are moving out as a candidate. And your status for that matter has changed in an instant. First of all, the law under the Presidential Elections Act provides that the state should provide you with 24-hour round security. We are going to begin that by giving you, or handing over to you, your security vehicle with the security personnel who will accompany or escort you wherever you are going on your campaign trail and wherever you want to go, except outside the country. They will not escort you there. Secondly, you also be availed security at your home. That vehicle is at the cost of the Electoral Commission in terms of fuel, payment to the driver, and to the security personnel. You don't have to pay them anything. And it has to be driven only by our official driver, to whom it will be handed over. After that, Mr. Candidate, you may, at your will, go to the media tent and address the media and the people of Uganda. They may want to hear your voice. So now let's go to hand over your vehicle, Mr. Presidential Candidate, so that you are well secured. Thank you. Secondly, under the Presidential Elections Act also, upon nomination, the Commission is required to avail you a soft copy of the National Voters Register. And I have it here. Let your agent come and pick this soft copy of the National Voters Register.
So the Commission will lead you. The Commission will lead you. Protocol will lead you. The Commission will go ahead and protocol will guide. And members of the press, after that, you proceed at the media circle, at the media center, and the candidate will speak to you and to the country.
Happening there is the FDC flag bearer, Honorable Nandala Mafabi, has been duly nominated as a presidential candidate on the FDC ticket. And what is happening now is heading to receive his security detail as by the Presidential Elections Act. It is mandated that he is provided with security, 24-hour security. Now, this time around, the candidates are receiving a pickup. It is a double cabin full with security. That is what you're seeing there. So he will have the counter-terrorism police that will be guarding him. And that is as said by Justice Simon Byabakama. Now, earlier on, I told you that we are waiting to know if we will have an additional candidate or an additional aspirant who has fulfilled the requirements that if all goes well, he will be nominated as a candidate. Now, according to Justice Simon Byabakama, the Alliance for National Transformation president and a candidate or flag bearer, or as of now, that is General Mugisha Muntu, was able to present the required signatures. That is 100 from each district, about 8, that is making it 98 districts. Now, very interesting that at least now that brings the number to 6 so far. We don't know if by closure of business, more will have been able to collect the required signatures, and they are vetted and they're issued with a certificate. Now, I have Adepo Francis, the National Youth Leader, FDC, with me, and of course, earlier on with my guest. But let's begin with FDC. How do you feel that finally your flag bearer has been nominated?
Yeah, it's good news for the country. It's good news for Ugandans. But above all, it's good news for the members of the Forum for Democratic Change that we have presented the best candidate that, like the way we have been speaking about him. And I want to really congratulate the party. I want to congratulate the Honorable James Nathani Nandala Mafabi for having successfully been nominated for the highest office in this country. For us as the FDC, we have really told Ugandans that he's the best among all the candidates, even if they be how many, or 10, 6, 7. We are telling Ugandans that the best candidate is the one that has just been nominated right about now. So congratulations, and we just pray that Ugandans really listen to the best manifesto that we have for them. Among all the candidates that you are talking about, it is only our candidate that has a well-stipulated manifesto, a well-focused manifesto, a manifesto that speaks to the volumes, to the toys of every Ugandan out there. We are telling Ugandan that no, we want money in every pocket of every Ugandan. And guess what? The candidate right about there on your screen is the one with that solution, and we are very proud and happy for his nomination.
Well, anytime from now, he will be going to the podium that was gazetted, where he will address members of the press. Yes, that is Honorable Nandala Mafabi, now a presidential candidate, and he will be on the ballot paper come 2026. Confirmed, no return. He will be there. He's going to be addressing the media And let's see if we can listen to that. Preparations are still ongoing, and we have a few observers who are observing this process in that tent. There are quite a number of them. Also, many political parties, I think, have sent in representatives. Most of their secretary generals were invited by the Electoral Commission to witness this two-day activity. Remember, under our laws, 2 days are gazetted by the Electoral Commission. Well, I hope the Honorable Nandala Mafabi, duly nominated as a presidential candidate, is going to be speaking to the media. I think he's still checking some technicalities there regarding the machines. I think the microphone is not okay. They have brought in another, and we hope any time from now to listen or hear from him. What is he telling Ugandans after being fully nominated as a presidential candidate? Let's switch there.
Nandala Mafabi, James Nathan. I come from the mountains of the sun, and I've been around for almost 59 years. I began my life by going to school, a primary school, secondary school, and the university. I have done so many professional qualifications. I've worked as a civil servant at local and international, and I've been a member of parliament for 25 years. On this note, I want to thank the people of Daddy West, Wugisu, for having given me an opportunity to be a member of parliament for 25 years and all the support in the region, which put me on the platform so that everybody can see me. On the international scene, I've worked for World Bank and IMF, and I still consult for them. This work, which I do, is in the area of economics and accounting. In Parliament, whom you see here, served as a chairman of a national economy, served as chairman PAC twice. I was a leader of opposition, and all of you have seen the reforms I did during my tenure. I'm sure today you are seeing me in a different capacity as a presidential candidate. I'm currently the chairman of the Just Cooperative Union, which union is the only surviving union in this country. And that's why I bring the knowledge of cooperatives in this election. For all of you who have seen me for this period, believe and accept I'm a worker. Since I'm a worker, I am a servant you can rely on. And that's the reason I'm in this election, to come and work for people of Uganda as your servant, to make sure you have better lives than you have now. And that's why our slogan, fixing the economy, money in our pockets. The reason we want to fix the economy is that in 1986, our current president, President Museveni, came and said the problem was security. Now security is done. What is remaining? There's insecurity in our homes, in our pockets. And people are poor, whereby 84% of Ugandans live on 26%. In short, every 26 people and every one person of 26 people are supporting 84. It means poverty in this country is high. I heard President Museveni talking about GDP. I heard him talking about poverty reduced in Uganda, but those are numbers which are disputable. Poverty is in how you see your life, how you manage your daily lives, how you live in your house. Are you meeting your basic needs? Are you able to take your children to school? Are you able to get medical? Are you able to transport yourself from one point to another? Are you having a roof over your head? Is your life okay? These are the issues why we come in this election. I want to thank my party, Forum for Democratic Change, for giving me an opportunity to carry their flag as a presidential candidate. And this, I attribute it to my party leaders, my brother, who is the current president of the party, POA, that's Patrick Amriat Oboy, my chairman, Jack Sabbit, whom I've known from my younger days as a civil servant, and he has mentored me up to date, all my members of NEC, National Council, Delegates Conference, and the party members and the Uganda at large. This election which I come, I bring a new menu, which all of Ugandans should take. I don't come with hatred, I don't come with anger, I come to build bridges where there are no bridges. I come to repair bridges where are broken. 40 years down the road, President Museveni has done what he can. The remaining period he can't do it. It needs a new blood to fix it. And I'm asking people of Uganda, this is an opportunity for you to allow new blood in Nandala Mafabi to fix this country for you. This country, our youth are suffering. Poverty is on increase with the youth. They tell the youth are taking marijuana.
1 p.m. He requested that he be allowed to report at 1 p.m. So we shall proceed to have the next aspirant at 1 p.m. We thank you. I think, Julius, can you, where's Julius? I think our guests, please be comfortable, keep around. I think you will be ushered into a place for refreshments, so that we want your presence to be meaningful to us. Thank you so much.
Are you staying up to 1? Huh? Are you staying up to 1? Staying here.
10% of the national budget so that we develop this country. As we develop the agriculture sector, we need to look at what the farmers produce. Do we have market? If there's no market, the government will make sure provides the market. We shall have stores, which you know them, silos, to keep our produce. Farmers suffer because they have a problem of what we call post-harvest. A man has a small house with his wife, his children, he produces 10 bags of maize, he has nowhere to keep them. I want to tell you that if we have a responsible government, this maize should have been kept by government and issued a farmer with what we call a warehouse receipt, which he can go anywhere and cash it anytime for the purpose of his life. I talk about coffee. I can tell you I am a child of a teacher, of teachers and farmers. We know growing coffee. I want to state that Nairobi now, which is Kenya government and Rwanda government, they are on the New York Stock Exchange. They are taking their coffee at a premium, while ours we are just throwing away. You can imagine a Senate government to allow our Ugandan coffee to go at a cheaper rate instead of going at a premium. I want to implore all of you to take the New York board. You will discover that the Kenya coffee, which has poor quality, and Rwanda, is going at a higher price compared to ours. And that's why they come here to buy ours for purpose of going to blend theirs instead of us getting the highest premium. As a president of your country, if you give me the mandate, coffee, which is the leading foreign exchange earner, which was one of those which brought independence in Uganda, will get the best treatment, and you will get value for this country. We intend to revamp, and I don't know, of course, I can say revitalize cooperatives. I am a chairman of this cooperative union, the only surviving one. There is no country which can develop without cooperatives. Leave lip service of talking about cooperatives. You must have cooperatives which work. I want to tell you, I come with experience in the cooperative world. I will ensure cooperative societies work. And when a cooperative society works, it will ensure that the people of Uganda, who are those lower side people, will earn lives. And that's why I say, I come with experience to make sure that all original cooperative societies are revitalized, start functioning for purpose of helping our poor farmers to earn a living and put money in their pockets. This one is a sure deal because you are dealing with a person with experience, and I come with total experience in that area. Of course, all of you know Bujusu Cooperative Union, when we came, was dead, was on its knees. Now it's the glory of the region, and that's why you go to Bujusu, you're having people putting up iron sheets or tiles or buying cars, doing good life better to look after themselves. We intend to ensure that we have money at a village level. All of you know we launched a manifesto, which is now being copied by some party members and some members of other parties, including the president of this country, because our manifesto was the first to be launched. It's the best manifesto, and I implore every Ugandan to read it. And one of the pillars there, of course, we talk about employment. We talk about strategic investment. We talk about human capital. We talk about special interest. All these are embedded, the 5 pillars, in our manifesto. I'll talk about a few in the summary so that you know what type of manifesto we have. In village level, we intend to have money at village level. Every village will have 100 million shillings every year. Every parish will have 100 million. Every sub-county will have, those are for the leaders. Going up the district at 500 million. Somebody will ask, where will you get money for a village? Currently, this country is bleeding. Corruption and mismanagement totals 10 trillion shillings. We have 72,000 villages. If I give you 100 million, it means that is 7.2 trillion. So the interest which I'm going to do is to plug and ensure there is no corruption in this country. And I'll have 10 trillion to service the village levels. I can tell you villages, you are going to have money under my leadership. Others are saying they are going to do it again. They have been around for 40 years. They have not done it. In fact, President Museveni does not need to put a poster anywhere for 40 years because he has been around. If somebody can put a poster, then there must be a problem. If somebody can talk about going to fight corruption when you have had the power for 40 years, if somebody can talk about that he's going to change roads when he has been for 40 years, if somebody can talk that he's going to give you money in his pockets, in your pockets when he has been here for 40 years and he has not done it, it shows that's a total failure. It's now time to give new blood who can implement this idea. Sports. We have said sports, every school will have sports fields, facilities. I heard President Museveni saying no registering a school without a sports facility. Where has it been 40 years? Where? That clearly now copying and pasting. Now the person who can do it is Nandala Mafabi and his team. Every school will have sports facilities. I can speak without contradiction. If a Speaker of Parliament can build a stadium, what about government? I can assure you this is possible and can be done. Colleagues and countrymen, we have talked about having employment for our youth. The reason why we have unemployment is because we are, instead of putting money in productive sectors, we're putting in unproductive sectors. Our government will make sure money is put in productive sectors to generate jobs. The youth, I want to assure you, under my government, you are going to get jobs. And this is why we even start and said every graduate who is going to leave, the day on your graduation, you will go with 1 million shillings to go and start life. That shows it is possible. I have heard President Museveni saying that within now 2 years, he's going to provide them some money. What happened 40 years down the road? You never saw that graduates are suffering. It is important that you have a leader who will keep his word, who will move this country forward. I come here without any hatred, no hatred. We want to thank President Museveni has done what he could for 40 years. It's time for him to be a senior citizen, our advisor to us. Let him rest. We don't want him to die because of stress of work. Here are young men, now Nandala coming to do that for him. And I can tell you I am the best candidate for this election. I'm calling people of Uganda to support me without fear or favor. I want you to support me. I am the best you have. This is the best menu you have. I ask all parties to support me. I ask NRM to support me. And I can tell you, nobody will be witch-hunted. No. We say thank you. And I repeat, we are going to build bridges where there are not, repair where there are no bridges. Finally, on this leg, we have decided to make our rally at a place called Kampala Road in Butabika. That place is in a slum area. We did it intentionally to tell the people of Uganda that we are aware of your problem. And we are coming there to show you that this problem where you are is what we are coming to solve. It's not that we can also go to a better place like Nachivubo, but we are coming where that rally is to tell you that we are part of that problem and it's time to solve it. And that's why our rally is in Butabika, in a place where people are disadvantaged. And that's why I ask people, you say you want to protect our gains. You want to protect gains of poverty, you want to protect gains of people suffering, or what? The gains should not be for a few, it should be for the entire country. And nobody made an application to God to be born in Uganda. All of us found ourselves here. And that's why we say, I want you to go to a hospital, whether in Kisoro, or Koboko, or Zombo, get equal treatment. That's why we want all regional hospitals now to become referral hospitals instead of having one referral hospital. That's why I'm saying we don't want to do medical tourism where people go to South Africa, go to India, go to Dubai, go to America, to UK for treatment. And those who go are either members of parliament, ministers, or those who can catch the eye of a president. I want you to go to Mbale Hospital and get what you would get in India. I want you to go to a Royal Hospital to get what you would get in Turkey. And this is why we come in, that my grandmother in Zombo, my mother in Kavale, my father in Busia, when he cannot see the eye of a president, should go anywhere and get treatment than looking for favors from those in power. I plead and tell you that this is possible. I can assure the school will be made better and everybody will need education. And you can see Electoral Commission was checking my papers to confirm if I have gone to school. There are people who have not gone to school, not because they not like, but because they have not had capacity to do it. We need equal education. We need equal health. We need infrastructure which work for all of us. We need our elders to be taken care of. We need houses for civil servants like medical facilities. You'll call Mulago Hospital, where there's a building where used to be CMA. Those were quarters for junior doctors. I want to ask you a question. Supposing a mother is in Mulago Hospital, going to deliver, and now he must be having a cesarean, be operated on. Our doctor stays in Mukono, who is supposed to work. By the time he comes, will the woman be there? The woman will be dead. Those are things which we say misplacement of planning in this country. I have technical people whom I put ahead. I will respect all the workers, the civil servants, the teachers. There's no teacher who should not be paid equally, whether you did math, or you did chemistry, or you did physics, or you did English, you are the same. We need all these teachers. Mathematics is never taught in Lugiso or Uganda. Mathematics is taught in English. And that means you need a teacher of English so that you are able to understand the math in English. So why would you disadvantage a teacher of English? All these will be resolved and this country will move together. Anyone who decides dividing people like that means is dividing the country. This country is disunited. I come here to reconcile it, to unify it, so that when you go to Gulu, you go to Kisoro, you go anywhere, you are treated as a Ugandan, all of you loving each other. So I come as a reconciler, and I'm the one who brings unity in this country. I want elders to be taken care of. I can assure you the elders, you will have homes, you will have a monthly salary. I will not add just age, so that you say few can get. I will make sure each and everyone is treated equally. Uganda belongs to all of us. One Uganda, one people.
Thank you very much, candidate Mafabi Nathan, the FDC flag bearer. I'm going to invite a few questions for the candidate. And I'd love to have 2 gentlemen and 2 ladies first. Okay, if there are 2, any ladies, please? Okay, as they prepare themselves, please mention your name, the media house, and please stick to the theme of today. Thank you so much.
William Muranga from Beg Media, stroke Beg TV. Honorable Nandala Mafabi, now Excellency to be. You
say Your Excellency.
Your Excellency to be. You have previously worked with the World Bank before we saw you in politics in Uganda. Uganda keeps on borrowing from the G7. What will be your position when you become president? Because our borrowing is too much. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
You can answer. Yes, you can answer.
If you have gone to borrow, it means you will pay back and you pay with interest. So Uganda borrows because it has very little to manage their budget. So we have been borrowing to fill the gap of the budget, the deficit. Currently, the figures are beyond 50%. 50% of our GDP. So that means every year we are borrowing 50% of our budget goes to service debt. Goes to service what? Debt. I'm just assuming now at 50. 10 trillion is stolen. 7 trillion is in public administration. At the end, you find that the money which remains, which goes for service delivery, is about 10%. This is a big cost to this country. The reason our country is not moving forward is basically because of borrowing and the mismanagement of public resources. So as a president of your country, if you give me the power, number 1 is to reduce debt. And the debt can be reduced in the following manner. Currently, we have a narrow tax base. And this narrow tax base are the very few people whom we charge every day. And some of you, of course, you are part of the narrow tax base. If you go to buy soap, you pay tax, it's VAT. If you go to buy sugar, you pay tax at VAT 18%. So in short, instead of buying a kilo of sugar, you buy a quarter because you cannot afford because of tax. And because of that, it costs this country that people don't get enough to live on. So number 1 is to increase the tax base, to ensure everybody is in the tax bracket, and pay little. At the end, it will be more, and you will service the debt, current debt, and don't go to borrow money for non-productive sectors. Money should be for only productive sectors. And this, if done, within 1 year, this country will change. You recall, in 1997, we told HIPIC, all our debt was written off. If this country was serious, by now would be in surplus budget. Instead, every year, we're running a deficit budget. I can assure you, if you block losses, if you block mismanagement, if you reduce on public administration, I can tell you we shall reduce debt, and at the end, within less than 3 years, would be in surplus. And the people of Uganda will be living a better life. That's why we say, have money in your pocket. How will you have it? If instead of spending 10,000 to buy one item, I'll spend 10,000 to buy many items, because the money will have value and there will be lower cost of goods and services.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. To be Jethro Kasaiji, I work with UBC. About governance and leadership, how do you intend to practically actually empower institutions of accountability, that is IGG, Auditor General, but also Parliament to fight corruption? Thank you.
I think you know that I'm good at that. You are aware of the Chairman Park, where we heard the untouchables to become accountable. I am very good. We have the best laws in this country for Auditor General's office, for IGG, for CID, mention it. The only thing is lack of will to support them. Because if the Auditor General produced a report that this such and such resources are missing, and you, the executive, does not implement it, it shows you are demoralizing an institution. If IGG produces a report and you don't work on it, you are demoralizing the institution. And also you must give them resources to do work. It does not mean that you have a dog, you are not feeding, and you assume it will look after you. It will look after the neighbor who is feeding it. So it is important that these institutions have laws, be facilitated, do work, and whatever they produce, act on it. And you need a man like Nandala to act on such, not the current president, because he has no capacity. Even now, public administration. Let me give an example, Parliament. Our Parliament is too big. Too big. We have created many districts, and whenever you create a district, you'll have a member of Parliament who is a woman. You'll have LOC5 and the local government. Why did we create them? Because of lack of service delivery. People were thinking if they create this, they'll have this. Parliament needs to be reduced. I can tell you this is one of the topics some people don't want to hear. I and my team will make amendments to ensure that districts are represented by 2 people only, 1 directly elected member of Parliament and 1 for women who will represent for purposes of gender sensitive. That's why I have my wife here. For over 30 years we have been together because I'm gender sensitive.
I congratulate you, Mr. Nandala, on your nomination. So I'm grateful. I have 3 questions. Question number 1, we have leaders with mask. People put on a mask.
I'm not one of those.
Let me finish. Number 2, we are tired of deception. They speak as if they are going to do miracles to us. They don't do it. Sadly, we have a paradox of Africa, having everything and have nothing. You can't have everything and have nothing. How are you willing to change that? That rhetoric that the world has talked, that they have everything and have nothing. Number 4, how are you going to remove money from politics, which is a cancer and a pain?
Thank you very much. Let me give you one of the experiences which we have seen in this country. We have the best reports, but implementing them is not there. And many countries, including Rwanda, has got our reports and implemented them that have been a success story. Now, what is the reason? We can write well, but we cannot do work. Now you have brought a servant who can work. I can tell you, here is a servant you can rely on. I'll do what you are asking me. Removing money from politics is very important. You end up voting money instead of voting a leader. I am begging the people of Uganda, this election, kindly change attitude. You vote leaders, don't vote money. Because when you vote money, the person will tell you, I bought you. I want to ask you, of course, that's why we wanted to amend the Elections Act of Presidential and Parliamentary, that the President should step aside so that this election could be free and fair. Currently, the current government, you know, cannot differentiate it from NRM and the government. They are infused together. And now when a president gets money to give an entity, he's giving it as a president and claiming it as an NRM. So these are things we must deal with. Now, money in politics, it's high time. Don't follow it. In any case, if somebody gave you money you never asked, if it's from NRM, that's your public resource, eat it. But vote leaders like Nandala so that you can have better leaders for tomorrow. And I can assure you, if you vote a leader who is good like Nandala, He'll do everything for you, and the money they paid you in 1 year, you'll get it in fact, they give you safe. Let me give an example, 10,000 shillings. Nandala is saying he's bringing 100 million in your village. So that means each every villager might get maybe 5 million. Why do you leave 5 million to go for 10,000? And the 100 million is from your state coffers. While the one who gave you 10 from state coffers has left the balance. These are things you should think about. Even when you're electing your leaders at low level, don't go for money. Go for leaders and you'll be safe. And this one, of course, we need to make a law to deal with voter bribery in an election. The other one that we are deceitful, there are people who are deceitful, they have a mask, and I am not there. I don't have a mask. I am a man we see. What I'm speaking is what comes from my heart. What I work, I can do it. And you know, whatever I've been given an assignment, ask colleagues I've been with in civil service, I've been with in the World International Market, World Bank in international world. Ask Ibugisu, I am a worker. If you give me an assignment, I do it. If you give me a bull, it will produce 10 cows at once. If you give me a stone, it will produce water. Give me an opportunity and I'll be there. I think those are the questions.
Okay. First and foremost, congratulations, Honorable Nandala Mafabi, upon being duly nominated. My name is Tracy Kanseme. I work with NBS Television, and mine is about the building bridges, fixing those that have been broken. Your party itself is no stranger to factions, and whereas we've seen cooperation agreements, memorandum of understandings with the other members of various political parties, yours seems to be under your leadership and that of the Honorable Patrick Boya Muriat. It seems not to be the case. My question is, what are those strategies, concrete proof that you will be working to remedy, even within your political parties, those that have left and are yet to return? Because I think previously you said, let them go. And so I wonder if that tone or that rhetoric has changed, given the fact that now you're talking about building bridges and fixing those that are broken. Where do you start? Thank you.
Thank you so much. In 2001, I came to Parliament. We were in one-party system, which was called NRM. In 2004, we formed a party called the Forum for Democratic Change. I have been there since day one. I have never left. So that shows you I'm a consistent person. I was a Deputy Treasurer General of the party. In 2012, Dr. Besigye left the party, so they had to look for leadership. I contested with General Muntu and my younger brother Ekanya. I lost with 32 votes. I never left the party. And if you want to know, you could have tested, I would have left at that time because I knew I'd done well. I can't bring our internal issues here. In 2017, Poa, my big brother Poa, stood with General Muntu. General Muntu was a sitting president of the party. Poa beat General Muntu with over 300 village votes. Recall, during the campaign of 2012, they were calling me a villager, which I like. 2017, they called Poa a villager. So the villager beat a town person. Now, when he won that election, General Muntu decided to leave, to go and form a party called ANT. I'm hearing unfortunate stories about it, that they cannot even go to villages and get whatever they are supposed to get. But that's not a big story. So General Muntu went. In 2021, we went to an election. You remember it was COVID time. It was not an election. My party president who stood, Poa, whom I have respect for, whom I must thank for serving us, he calls it a military operation. We lost. I hope this time there's no military operation. We're here for this election. So that clearly shows which man I have been, consistent. I have never run away. And in 2016, we supported Dr. Besigye. Now, there are colleagues in their lives. They are either leaders or no, they don't want to be led. Unfortunately, that's what happened. And that's why when you see some of them running away, that is the reasoning. They don't want to be led. They want to be the only ones at the helm. Unfortunately, where they have even gone to lead, they have become, I don't want to mention. Look, for example, let me give an example of PPF, which you are talking about recently. You know, my brother Lukwago is the president. My brother Semuju is the Secretary General, mobilizer, spokesperson, mentioned it, he has more than 4 portfolios. When they wanted to put a candidate, none of them came up. They wanted to remain road mayors, they wanted to be members of what? Parliament. That means for them they are more comfortable to be at the helm, but not to show what it is. I was waiting forward to see Lukwago standing as a what? A presidential candidate. I'm here, he's crying here to be a what? A road mayor. And in fact, I want to ask people of Kampala, such leaders don't trust. They can be very dangerous to our country. But in that context, that applies also to my brother Semuju, whom I thought would be. Now, so they went wanting power, and they have got it, but they have failed to execute what they are supposed to do. That means if we had given them leadership, FDC would not have had a presidential what? Candidate. Are you getting us? They would not have had a presidential what? Candidate. If they were going to have, they would have demonstrated with PPF they have. So all those stated and said, we are not bad. Those who went with them, some of them were misled. But we want to ask our colleagues, come back. Come back, come back. We need to move forward. The journey to the struggle for our liberation is a longer journey. Of course, others will reach, others will drop off, but others will join. I ask more to join. I want also more to come and support us, even from other parties. So the bridges I'm building, everybody is free to come with us. And that's why I call on everybody in Uganda to support me. Under the bridge, I will work for everybody. Ask anybody, wherever I've worked, if I've ever been sectarian, I have ever been tribalistic, I've ever been anything of that. When I was the leader of opposition, my driver was from West. My bodyguard was from Acholi. Are you getting this? When I was in my offices, when I worked in finance, my secretary were from West Nile, they are what? That's me. Even today they have given me guards, Akelo, Omoding. Huh? I would have asked to give me these ones. I'm not that category. So this is the only nationalist you have. And I can tell you, I am ready to build the bridges. And those which are spoiled, I will repair.
Thank you so much, Honorable. Nzetera kaya nkola ne Bukedde TV ne Bukedde Fama. Honorable akalulu kano ke muzeemu. Bemuvuganya nabo aba NRM. Balinayo mu Nandala mu local government. Abantu be bayisaawo unopposed. Nga kitegeeza FDC teyasobola kusimbayo muntu. Ekyokulabirako district y'e Sembabule yayisaawo chairperson wa LC5. Naye ng'ate amaanyi g'ebibiina gatandikira ddala eno wansi. Nga mulina ebitundu gye mutalina wadde abeesimbyewo. Akalulu mugenda kafeffetta mutya era musuubirayo obuwagizi?
Nziremu mu Luganda oba mu Luzungu? Webale. Sembabule nayo muganda wange bamwita Sekikubo Theodora. Waki wa NRM. Weyesimbawo mu primaries. Ndooza abantu bafa. Abantu bakola ki? Bafa. Ebiriyo ebitundu ndooza emundu yefuga. Ekyo kyonna okugamba nti ensi eno tulina okujja emundu mu byobulonzi. Bwe tugenda okuteekawo abakulembeze baffe tujjewo emundu. Sembabule tulinayo abantu b'ebibiina nga FDC bangi naye bakyakukola ki? Okufa. Ky'oba olaba bagamba kabagende. Ekintu kyolina sure wadde mugenda ojja kutuuka ekiseera ojja kufa. At least that's a sure deal. You will die. But why should you kill somebody because of a what? A vote. So ebyo ebitundu biliyo abantu baffe babatiisa buli kaseera. Ky'oba olaba twagala tusaba Electoral Commission ekomewo etuyambe ekole voter education buli mu kitundu. Olaba twagenda ekotido naffe ne tubeerayo ne bakansala baffe bayita unopposed oba okimanyi. Naye ebiseera ebyo nga tebabakkiriza okuyitawo kuba ffennyini twaliyo. Ekyo kikulaga naffe duwe ebitundu bye tuyise ani unopposed. Lwaki oleese Sembabule n'otagambako ebitundu ebirala? Naffe waliwo abantu bafe nefe tetukosa ki mundu Theodora bakose mundu ndozo manyi byavamu luvanyuma akaba waifu disi neda wa NRM twagala kusaba NRM edemu nkola ekole ebintu bulungi.
Thank you, Honorable. My name is Aloysius Biamkama. I am from Mama FM, which is a women-focused radio station. I have seen your position on agriculture, and now on climate change. We have seen a lot of changes, including the agricultural habits reducing totally. We have seen waters actually coming to settlements where people are. We have seen mountains in this country becoming so bare, a lot of sunshine, a lot of changes. Let me know your stand on this question about your climate change plan.
First of all, climate change is my main interest. Maybe if you want to know, my master's, my dissertation was on environmental. And I even said that unless we settle climate change, we're going to have disasters in this country. It's one of the themes at international level. So we must have financing in the environment to ensure that we deal with this environment. But who are destroying the environment is the developed countries. And we must deal with them. Either they pay for it or not. But also, by the time they do it, what are we doing as Uganda in our country? We have cut forests. We have cleared swamps. That's why you see silting of the roads and the land. If you go to Nakao when it has rained, that place used to be a swamp. Now water floods. There's a lake over there when it rains, and it has taken people. That is us ourselves. If we're doing it, what solution did we put? Mitigation solutions. So on environment, I want to tell you that I and my government, if you give me authority, will be our priority to ensure we have a better environment for our country. So we'll invest in it, we'll educate people about it, and when you invest in environment, you're improving the health of the people, you're improving agriculture. Let me give you an example. When we breathe out carbon dioxide. What you breathe in is oxygen, and oxygen is produced by plants like trees. So if you cut trees and you breathe out oxygen, there will be nothing to absorb that carbon dioxide. That in the end, you will breathe in the same carbon dioxide, which is dangerous. And that's why you see there's a lot of diseases caused because of such things. So we need to make our country green so that we are able to have healthy bodies and also to ensure that agriculture also thrives. I can tell you, you're talking to a student and a practitioner of environment. In the global market, of course, you are aware, under COP, I am one of the members on the finance committee on environment. And whenever I'm there, I am advocating for it. This year it will be in Brazil. Unfortunately, I will be in the campaign. I will not make it, but since you are good, I might nominate you to represent me.
Thank you, candidate Nandala Mafabi of FDC. I am Farida Rule, the Executive Director of Ushahidi Foundation Uganda, and I am observing this process. I have 3 questions. One, what is your plan for the shrinking space for the civil society organizations currently in Uganda? 2, this I'm going to use Luganda. Nchimanyi mulungi nti oli muntu olimu economist mulungi. Tax policy yo egenda kubeera etya? Tax policy eriwo kati saawa zino ekusanyusa oba tekusanyusa? Let me give you one example. Nze bwe maafunye omusaala bwe gudropinga ku account yange nina okusasula pay as you earn, nensasula NSSF. Bwe zivaako ne zigenda nengenda okuzijjako nyina omusolo omulala gwensasula. Bwe ngenda mu supermarket ogulira abaana bange ebyokulya nyina omusolo omulala gwensasula. Bwe ngenda mu katale nyina omusolo omulala gwensasula. Kwegamba government erikunyunyuta abantu abatono ennyo nti be bali okufujjirira n'olaba nti omukyala atunda amenvu capital we wa mitwalo 2 naye nga still government emulilayingako okubeera nga asasula omusolo. Kakati gwe nga candidate otegese otya okulaba nti okozesa ebyo, tulina amafuta, tulina gold, tulina so many resources, otegese otya, what is your plan okulaba nti nno tonyigidde government tenyonyuuta abantu ffe abawansi okuba nti nno tugirabirira kubanga we tutuuse tulina development. Ekyokusatu, embeera eyaliwo mu 2021 using owalaba abantu abamu omukyala yafiirwa omugulu nga security ekoseza amaanyi mangi n'omukyala omulala yafiirwa omwana we. Kakati nga gwe nga tonaba kwenyigira mu kalulu oteeseteese etya okulaba nti embeera eyaliwo mu 2021 tesobola kubeerawo mu 2026? Osobola okuba nti ogenda kuteeseganya otya n'omukulembeze w'eggwanga aliwo kati okulaba nti embeera eyo tebeerawo?
Thank you so much, Your Excellency.
Can I answer this because I may forget?
Okay.
The last one, he was asking security. Embeera ki tugenda kugikola, ndowooza ekyo ekibuuzo kya Electoral Commission. Kulaba elections zibeera free and what? Fair. Naye tulina okwogera nga abasimbyewo tulabe nti security tegenda ekola ebintu ebitali bituufu. Era tusaba security organization, tusaba Electoral Commission, tusaba President wa Uganda naye candidate alabe nti elections zino zibeera free and fair. Kijja kumuyamba for credibility purposes. Tax base gy'ogambye ffenna tugimanyi. Ndowooza oyogedde ku muntu amanyi bintu bya tax base, an expert internationally. Bw'obeera ne tax base entono ojja omusolo mu bantu batono ate oyagala by'okukozesa bingi. Ky'oba olaba olina okukola tax base n'ebeera ennene omusolo ne gubeera muki mutono. Ebimu by'osabye by'ombuulidde payers eyo ani eyo ekituufu musolo naye NSSF si musolo. Ezo savings zo bw'onaatuuka emyaka 5 mu 5 ojja kugenda mu NSSF bazikuwe ne interest. Ezo tezoogerako, ezo zizo ziterese zifuna ne interest. Naye zogambye payers eyo ani kikulaga nti bakulekerako okusooka fe bayita threshold. Kati bwe zirinya waggulu noba kujjako omusolo nga that's why osasula nga bw'okola nga bw'ofuna pay as you osasula nga bw'ofuna. So the higher bw'ofuna nyingi nawe osasulako akantu kangi. Naye complaint yo yandibadde nti sente zange zino zensasula zikola mulimu ki? Kyo kyekizibu kuba ezisinga bazikolesa bubi, bazibba, bazikola ebintu ebitagasa mu kifo ky'okukoma mu economy, zikola emirimu ezo ziyambye abantu, ziyambe economy ekule, so that economy bwekula omusolo nagwo gukola ki? Gukula. Naye okugukosa bubi economy tekula ate bweshrinkinga abantu abatono be bajjako ki? Omusolo. Nga bw'oyogedde buli muntu asasula musolo buli agenda mu supermarket. Naye nze nina okugamba nti omusolo bwe gunaabeera mutono no productive sector yeeyongere. Tugenda kukola nti sente zo ze bayita disposable income. Disposable income is income oba omaze byonna ebeera mu makono go okukozesa ejja kuba nyingi lw'ensonga nti bwe sector bwe zikola bulungi sente zibeera nyingi, abantu babeera ne disposable income nyingi. Mu kifo ky'okugula hafu kiro y'esukaali ojja kugulanga kiro 2 n'embeera yo nayo ebeera ennungi. Ekyo kiraga nti nawe base yeeyongera kuba kati omusolo gw'ogenda okusasula ogenda kusasula ku kiro 2 mu kifo kya kusasula ku hafu kiro kubanga eyo naye bagiyita widening the tax base. Bw'ogula ebintu bingi omusolo gubeera mungi naye gubeera wadde mutonotono naye ebintu bingi zibeera nyingi okusinga okugula hafu kiro omusolo gubeera at high rate naye nga musolo muki mutono. So productive sector zenko ogugambyeko zigenda kweyongera. Kati gw'ofuna olaba threshold entono kubanga abantu bebandifujja mu musaala ne bajjako omusolo singa babadde bangi okifuna payers ani yandibadde wansi. Naye kasita muli batono aba earning income kyoba olaba payers ani ebeera waggulu. Ekyo kitugenda kukirwanisa tukole economy abantu babeere n'emirimu, ab'emirimu babeera bangi tubajjako omusolo nagwo muki mungi. Kyogambye nti civil society is your right kiri mu constitution article 28, 29 freedom of association, freedom of speech. This is the president you should bank on, who will ensure the freedom of speech, freedom of association. The public must speak. The media must speak. And I want to tell you that constitution was a good constitution. And I want to state one of the items which shall be on our agenda, number 1, is to reinstate term limit of a president, to cut powers of a president. Those are the things you must do. A president must be a worker, not a boss. Mama mbuziza bisatu. Nibizemu.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, as you deserve to be called. I'm Julius Mugaga Tukachungura, and I write for an online paper called Umoja Standard. I come in the line of policies. We know agriculture is the backbone of Uganda, and for any country to grow, it must focus on, not a major focus, but usually industrialization is a key factor. So what are your policies in as regards to agricultural industrialization, it being a backbone of Uganda? And secondly, there's a growing economy called the digital economy. You didn't mention it. So as an economist, what are some of the policies you are going to employ to see that our digital economy grows and benefits Uganda? Thank you so much.
Those two I'm going to, but I think I forgot one item on this lady. She said when she goes in the bank, she gets money less. Those are bank charges. Those are bank charges. So if they are high, we shall deal with them. One of the things is that the interest rates in this country are too high. We need interest rates to be low so that people can borrow money to invest. You know, when the people don't borrow money to invest, the economy collapses. Let me give a quick sample because I've remembered what the lady asked. If I went to borrow money to put up a maize mill, I borrowed 10 million, it will be better that the interest rate is lower so that I can run that maize mill to be able to have the one who deals with maize to produce maize to bring, to make sure that the people are in the maize mill to work, to make sure that people get food, to make sure there's animal feed, because as a byproduct of maize, you will get animal feed. But if the interest is high, I will not borrow. So the people I would have killed, those who deal in animal feed, those who would be employed in the maize mill, those who produce maize. This is where we're saying we should invest in a very productive sector. And that's one of the areas that we must have our businesses working, surviving, by having a deliberate effort to deal with local investors. Local investors must be given money at a cheaper rate by government, not giving it to foreigners. We cannot make our country for foreigners, because foreigners, when they make profit, they externalize it. But when a Ugandan makes money, it stays here. That's why one of the burden here is that foreigners who are here are making money and taking it out. But if you give money to the locals to invest here, it will go a longer way to build the economy. I think that's what Madam, you wanted also, maybe that's why you came back. Agriculture is the backbone of this country, and I want to thank God He gave Uganda the best climate. Anything can grow, and that's what I told you. So how do we industrialize? Of course, we must have value addition. We must have cooperatives, which I started with. Cooperatives will help farmers to have their produce taken to the cooperative society, to have their produce processed. Like maize, we should be having a Nescafe machine here to produce coffee. You can take an example. Recently, I'm not against, my colleague was given a factory in Intungam. Now, Intungam can have a factory for coffee, which has very little coffee, but you cannot leave Mount Elgon, which has the best coffee, to not have a factory. In fact, that factory should have started in Mount Elgon side, and there's an entity like which cooperative, which government, if it was a Senate government, to have cooperated with, so that the coffee would be now they want to do. So we make our priorities wrongly, and that's why we get. So we must have industrialization, have industries to process agriculture, which is called agro-processing, so that we have value. Now, we need to have banks. We need to have an agricultural bank to deal with agriculture, because there's a lot of loss, because nobody wants to lend money to an agriculture sector because of the depends on weather. We need to have a cooperative bank, which is even now again in the law, but has not been done. The cooperative bank to help cooperatives to operate. In this agriculture bank to help the process from growing the from the farmer up to the process of agro-processing. And even the marketing. We need to improve on marketing. The best person who should lead the marketing of Uganda product should be the government. If I give you an example of coffee being on a New York board, no farmer can move to New York. But the person who can go to New York is the government to ensure that we have that. So I can assure you, if you read our manifesto, which was done by people of FDC, it clearly talks about how we're going to industrialize agriculture sector. Well, you talked about digital. Right now, internet is cheap all over, but in Uganda, internet is very expensive. We need to make data cheaper, because now transactions are easily done online. Why should data be very expensive? Many countries now, if you walk on the streets of their town, even in the villages, there is internet. Why should somebody spend money on the internet when there is free internet? And the internet will assist you. Of course, it is on WhatsApp, and of course, whatever social media, it can do it, but it also can do business, transacting and whatever. Currently, many countries are doing, let me give an example, America and the UK are doing, okay, in my area of accounts, they are going to India to get professionals in India to do accounts for them. So they use this internet to do accounts. They send the accounts to UK, they are paid a check. Our boys and girls, those are the jobs they would be doing, but because they don't have those facilities, and of course you are talking to a man who also has some digital knowledge, I'll make sure that digital is at lower cost, affordable, and everybody must access it. My study in Makerere, all of you know, in our year we used to do what we call computer science, where there was a mainframe. Those who know Lotus, 1, 2, 3, those who know WordPerfect, I was one of the young programmers. I still have ideas. Even if I become a president, I'll do programming for you so that you enjoy it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I'm told.
Candidate
So I've finished all your questions. Now I want to ask all of you, the media people, be my campaign managers. Tell the whole world that the best candidate is Nandala Mafabi. I want to ask people of Uganda again that I'm your candidate. I'm a candidate who has no hate, who has no hatred, who comes to build bridges, who loves every Ugandan. I am one of those whom we should trust. Above all, I am a God-fearing person. I love God, I love my God. I have been married with my wife, Flora Nandala, the woman, for 32 years. And we have no plans of leaving each other. And we want, I came here with my bishop. I want to introduce my bishop and his wife, Bishop Patrick Giroud, and Mama. Thank you for escorting me. Of course, all those people are people of FDC. I want to introduce my brother Jack Sabit, who has been my mentor from civil service up to now. I want to introduce my brother Poa, whom I've known for over 30 years. We live together. I want to talk about my sister, Margaret. Thank you for being there for me in all those dungeons. Colleagues, I am so grateful. I can tell you I have a friend of mine I met in Parliament in 2001. He's called Chwanda Godfrey. Mama Tata Sovi. That was my brother until he crossed and abandoned me. But I'm asking you as the chairman of NSF, please join me. I want to thank my nephew for joining this meeting. This is my nephew, Dr. Sranda, from Secretary General of FDC. Thank you, thank you. They have given me a microphone. This is my opportunity. I have my brother Joab from Masindi. Thank you so much for joining me. I have my big brother Mukalada. Thank you for chairing FDC up to now. I have my brother Wante. Thank you for always being there. Wante, when they sacked me from Mwiri, you looked after me. I have my brother Olanya from Acholand. Thank you for joining. Oh yeah. I have my elder sister who is Madam President, Madam Jessica Modoa. That's the one who puts food on my table. I have my sister Franca. Okay. My sister, thank you for joining me. I have my nominator and my sister from another mother. Kabugo, my sister, the MP for Kasese. My sister, thank you for being there for me. I have my brother Fungaro Caps. It is great you are with me. I have my younger brother, Geoffrey Kanya. Thank you for being there. I have my brother Konyogo, my spokesperson. Thank you very much. I have my daughter who is contesting in Buyukwe, called Namwanga. I am a fair to introduce everybody, but all of you, thank you for coming. I'm so grateful. I have my bodyguard. He's here. Number 64718. This is my bodyguard. Thank you very much for bodyguarding me. I want to thank the translators. It was great seeing you. The media, elama noi. Mwanya lalugali, wela bene nanye.
Thank you so much, candidates and Nandala Mafabi. I now hand you.
Candidate Nandala Mafabi, after addressing the media, which is part of the organization of the event, because after being duly nominated by the Electoral Commission, then you handed over your security car with a team of security personnel to give you 24/7 protection. And thereafter, you go and address the media. He talked of a number of issues that he's going to be handling. And of course, we know for FDC, among all the contestants so far, they have their manifesto. It was launched, so it is already known. You can just pick interest and go into that. It seems, to a certain extent, to be so good to be true. And I know Ugandans could have picked out a number of things. He explained a number of things, but I'm not alone. I have Adope Francis, who is the National Youth Leader, Forum for Democratic Change. Now, still, we are seeing him. He's going to be moving out of the venue and heading to Kasoko. So that is in Butabika, where he's going to be addressing his first rally as a presidential candidate. But remember, campaigns are not officially opened. Campaigns will officially kick off on the 29th of this very month, and they will run to the 12th of January this very month. Now, as of now, you're just having that first rally after nomination. But also the good news is that also the Alliance for National Transformation president of Agbera in this race, retired General Mugisha Muntu, will also be nominated today. He has fulfilled the requirement of the signatures and has been issued with a certificate that, yes, he has been able to avail at least 100 signatures, in a minimum of 100 signatures in 98 districts, making a 2/3 of the districts in Uganda. Now, coming back to the gentleman I have in studios, beginning with that from the FDC, your president, your party president, has talked about unifying, building bridges. Now, when we look at this race, 2026, one of the things that comes out properly is, much as you have NRM as a competitor in 2026, it also seems more as opposition competing against opposition. You know, you'll hear many, actually, even he also hinted when he said, I'm told they could not even raise signatures. You heard that phrase? You know, I'm told they could not even raise signatures. I think was it updated that Ant has already been able to do that. Do we see any way of bridging these gaps? Some countries have even come up with one sole candidate for the opposition. This wasn't it.
Yeah, I think, first of all, I would request you, all of you, that you join me and we salute the presidential candidate who has been nominated by really slanting the one Uganda, one people slogan, because we are all aiming for a better Uganda. One Uganda, one people. You replied that one people. One Uganda, one people. No, the slogan is for Ugandans. But when you look at what the president has spoken, I'm just too sensitive that you have picked out, you are interested in picking out that concept specifically. But to me, I would wish that maybe we would start on the good that he has spoken before going to that. But for your interest specifically, to make your interest really be attended to, for us in the FDC, there is what we call a perception, there is what we call a fact, and there is what we call the truth. The presidential candidate, in his speech there, he has been very clear. Even when they asked him that question, he has elaborated clearly what has been happening in the FDC, like he does even in a home. some of those gaps will be there. There will be a lot of there will be some internal conflicts, but the president has been very clear that some of the issues that has caused the split of the FDC, like the way he has explained from the time of the 2000 to 2012, the Honorable Kamia forming Uganda Federal Alliance, the Honorable Mugisha Muntu forming ANT in 2017, and now the current one of the Omlodi Lukwago forming PFF. All those demographics, they have been really under one factor, which is the quest for power, which is the biggest problem in this country. People want to occupy leadership even when the public don't wish them to do so. So in that line of quest for power, such kind of discussions are going to happen. And for us, we have kept the trend, and we are like, no. In such a situation, the FDC calls for all people, even those that are aggrieved, to really put all those factors aside and come back home. When you look at the delegation that has gone with the presidential candidate, most of the people there, actually, it was a lineup of 20 people. Now, when you remove the president and the first lady, you remove the PA, you have a team of around 16 that are supposed to be selected by the leadership of the party. But when you look at that delegation, around almost 9 people on the delegation that have gone with the president, they were shouting in Katonga. They were the people who were in Katonga trying to speak all the negativities about the leadership of FDC in Najanankum. So that means that the able leadership of the presidential candidate that just nominated today has been, he has managed to bring those people on board. That's why you have seen most of the MPs there. You retrieve your cameras. They are those who used to speak bad. They have now escorted what? The presidential candidate. So is a potential person when it comes to that, and we trust him that when he trusted with leadership, there's a lot of fear in this country that maybe when leadership changes, there are some people who will be chased away. There is a lot of tension that maybe when leadership changes, there are some people who will be really fidgeting to get visas, flying out of the country because of the evil and all that the hate people have about them, depending on the action they have done. So the presidential candidate in Honorable Nandala Mafabi, he's saying that no, the Uganda is bigger than all of us. He's guaranteeing safety, he's guaranteeing reconciliation, he's guaranteeing whatever, every kind of peace. Regardless of what you have done, there will be peace, there is reconciliation. Those are the bridges he's talking about. This Katonga discussion, the signatures he has talked about, these are facts. Because now, if he's talking about the absence of a flag bearer from our brother who have just left, because one of the things the Katonga left with was like the FDC leadership as of that time wanted to sell out the party to the regime. But now those who wanted to sell out the party to the regime are in the race. They have presented the parliamentary candidates at all levels. We have presented candidates even at parish level councillorship, and we have presented the candidate to the national seat of the highest office in the names of Honorable Nandala Mafabi. Now this one we're saying that no, we want to protect the party. We keep the party moving and we don't sell it out. Where are they? We are seeing a few, even in some places, none of the candidates. In some regions, they are not there. We are seeing even at the highest office, they have not availed themselves to provide alternatives. But for us, we are saying that no, we are going to work with each and every party. All that discussion is going to be history. In the candidate of Honorable Nandala Mafabi, the FDC is calling for all the political parties. That is believing in the good message that the way you have heard it there. Come home, come to the FDC, even when you don't believe in the FDC, but listen to the message we have provided. Because
at
in
this
the
point,
FDC,
let me bring in Kaira here, Ismail. Ismail, DP has not fronted any candidate. And here is FDC that is seemingly welcoming any person who believes in their views. Is DP going to join FDC?
Well, thank you so much for that question. I want first of all congratulate the FDC for nominating a very brilliant and a good candidate in the names of Honorable Nandala Mafabi James. I've tried to be very so much critical at the time when he was arriving in the tent, at the time when he left after his media brief. It is just, there is actually some I think, I don't know whether I can call it injustice or unfairness. The kind of questions which they have asked Honorable Nandala Mafabi are the questions which actually were supposed to go to the President of Uganda. I've tried to tally the questions which they have asked Nandala Mafabi. They're around 11 questions. But yesterday when you were trying actually to see how many questions were asked to the President of Uganda, I think they were limited to 2-3 questions.
There were 3 questions.
You understand? But someone who has been in power, someone who is requesting actually to come back to power after 40 years, I think Ugandans have a lot of questions, even you, the media personnel. But at least I'm really happy that actually Honorable Nandala Mafabi has tried actually to answer these questions very well, brilliantly. I liked how he challenged the journalists who asked about NSSF. He was trying to mix NSSF and taxes. Then he was telling, no, those are not taxes. That is an NSSF. That is your own saving, which should help you. Actually, if he was to be a bogus politician, he was going to quail on that one.
No, he's a smart.
Yes,
He's an economist. You know,
yes, he's very much intelligent.
With figures, economy, you don't mess with.
Now, coming to your question, it is really absurd that the opposition candidates, I'm not seeing any opposition candidate actually who has come to really put a fight to remove President Museveni. Now, this is my own analysis.
Yes, and you're entitled to that.
Because President Museveni, the person who has been in power for 40 years, we expect that actually, I don't think there is any opposition leader who can match him as far as security is concerned. There is not any opposition leader who can match him as far as finances are concerned. There is no any opposition leader who can match him as far as human resource is concerned. At this time, I would not be expecting the opposition now throwing stones to each other. But I've actually heard from him when he's actually criticizing his fellow opposition. Right now, if there is any opposition leader who was very really serious actually to remove President Museveni, actually, by the time we come for nominations here, we would have seen at least a certain unity within the opposition first. Who is going to manage the funds? Who is going to be in charge of mobilization of funds? Who is going to be in charge of agents? Do you know that actually President Museveni right now, they are even in the process of actually identifying agents all over Uganda? Where are we as the opposition? Lastly, do you remember the analysis I gave you when I was starting the show about now electing a presidential candidate basing on the alternative you're bringing? I've tried to listen to Honorable Nandala Mafabi very critically. Cooperative, the 100 million per village, sports, corruption, fighting corruption, and so forth, so many things. Now, the question is, if I'm a voter, I want first of all to understand this manifesto in the political party of the FDC. How is the sports developed in the FDC? You understand? Because now, these political parties, these are governments. This is a full government, which we try actually to depict that actually, when we are in government, this is how we are supposed to behave. You understand?
Alternative government.
Exactly. Now, I want now to understand how has this manifested in the FDC internal politics? How are the cooperatives moving in the members of the FDC countrywide? You understand? How have you fought corruption in the FDC? Should we think that actually there is not anything like corruption? What is your policy of corruption in the FDC? Literally, that's how Ugandans are supposed to vote. But coming to give your manifesto, good manifesto, speaking everything, yes, it is a very good manifesto, and I've liked it. But practically, when you had the chance, as a leader in the FDC, how far have these things gone? And the same question applies to other presidential candidates. Now, I'm trying now to bring out the other narrative of political party dispensation.
Ismail,
it
are you aware?
It is not about.
Are you aware what you're saying is very important?
Yes.
But you're not answering the question I put to you.
Yes.
I beg you do first answer that.
Yes. Now, I was trying actually to give that, then I come to your question.
Please do.
Now, after listening to Honorable Nandala Mafabi in his speech, I think if we are sure that actually is going to implement this 70%, I think he's one of the best candidates which Uganda should rally. Your question says we don't have a presidential candidate.
Yes,
we don't have
are you going to form an alliance? Are you joining? Those are things you should have discussed as a party.
Yes, we don't have a presidential candidate as a party, and we don't have a formal communication from the party that actually we are supporting this one. But I can tell you that among the political parties which have now registered and nominated, Democratic Party and the Forum for Democratic Change share the same ideology. In other words, actually, we are sisters and brothers. If you can try actually to see what Honorable Nandala Mafabi was trying to speak about, was speaking it out of basis of the center-right ideology.
Yeah.
Center-right ideology basically tries actually to focus more on the wananchi. Everything actually should focus on the wananchi. You understand? But as I told you when I was beginning, that we have a very big challenge as the opposition. We have a very big challenge as the opposition to really convince them that we are the best, basing on what has been happening in our internal politics. But as now, Honorable Nandala Mafabi is the best. But basing on how we have been handling, the citizens of Uganda, the local people, may challenge us basing on what the one we are challenging is concerned. And so on that, when I'm ending my point is, I think as Ugandans, let us not base so much on color in this election, 2026 election. Let us not base our voting on friends. I'm a friend to Adepo Francis. His candidate is Nandala, so I should vote for Nandala. Let us critically analyze the candidate. You want President Museveni, what has he been doing for the last 40 years? You want Honorable Nandala Mafabi, what has he been doing as a leader in Forum for Democratic Change? You want FDC, what has it been doing? What does it stand for? Because what I've been doing for the last 15 years, it is what I'm going to give you as far as the results, as a result after voting me as the president. So let us be so much critical. Let us not go by the wave. Let us not go by colors, but let us actually focus on the issues, because we are voting for what is going to happen after election. There is time after elections.
Well said, there is time after elections. Viewer, we are looking at day 2 of the presidential nominations that is happening at the proposed Electoral Commission headquarters in Ruwowa, Reza. Now, this is day 2, and so far one candidate has been successfully nominated by the Electoral Commission, and that is the Honorable Nandala Mafabi, carrying the FDC flag. Now, that makes it 4 so far. Yesterday we saw Elton Mabirizi being nominated. That is the Conservative Party. He was nominated. However, he had first had issues with his academic papers, but that was corrected and he was successfully nominated. So he will appear on the ballot paper. We saw Robert Kasibante of the National Peasants Party also being nominated successfully. And earlier on in the day was the NRM's incumbent Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who was nominated, and he will be on the ballot paper for 2026 general elections. Now, with Nandala Mafabi, make it 4 candidates so far have been successfully, and we can say that the ballot paper will have the 4. Now, we are reliably informed that Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu of the National Unity Platform will also be nominated later on. I think the agreed time was 2 p.m. that he will be at Ruwowa, the proposed site for the Electoral Commission quarters, which is the nomination grounds to be nominated. But also information came in through the justice, the Lord Justice Chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Simon Byabakama, who said that yes, also the Alliance for National Transformation, a flag bearer and President, retired General Mugisha Muntu, fulfilled and was issued with a certificate after having his signatures that he presented verified. So it means he is also going to be nominated. Now he's among those. So when you make the count, that brings it so far to 6 candidates. But don't forget that we had 225 PIC nomination forms. 41 did return the forms. Now, it is the Electoral Commission to verify these signatures. And out of the 41, so far 6, their signatures have been verified. Yesterday, around 7:30 there, we had over 20 aspirants at the Electoral Commission offices in the Electoral area gathered there, expressing their dissatisfaction with the Electoral Commission. But also just to remind you, our laws are very clear that 2 days will be gazetted for this nomination exercise. Now that means if by closure of business today, you have not been nominated, Ugandans will thank you for having tried, for having loved. But you will not have met what it takes. Now, coming back to you, Francis, I've listened so far to all the presidential candidates. Apart from, I think it was Robert Kasibante, who didn't give us so much. He said, those are in my manifesto. He didn't talk so much. Malaton John also tried, sorry, Mabidis also tried to give us some. But Nandala Mafabi, something unique has happened. One, he had longer time than any of the others.
He has content.
He was given a lot of time.
Depends on the content.
But also he moved with the better half.
Yeah, true.
I think it was only President Yoweri Museveni who came with Mama Janet Museveni and now Nandala Mafabi. The others didn't. But he seemed to know Uganda's problems very well. Just like His Excellency knows them very well. He seemed to have a solution to all the problems. Just like His Excellency has a solution to all the problems. But it seems we have a challenge in implementation. The manifesto that tells Ugandans 100 million shillings per village, you know, that assures also leaders at village level of their money. Then more money placed in cooperatives, more money placed in circles, you know. This may seem so good to be true. How can you assure Ugandans that actually this manifesto will be implemented?
No, one of the challenges we have in not only in Uganda, but again in Uganda it is too much. People don't want to read. From the start, when I was on this show, I have given a link that just go to www.fdc.ug/manifesto. You are going to get this document there. It is a 65-page document, well elaborative. And in our meeting yesterday, we agreed that we are going to simplify that manifesto into a 10-page document, small, pocketable, that you can even put it in the pocket and revise it and know how FDC is going to really handle. So before I even answer, I really implore the young people, especially because young people, when you read, we expect that the 75% of us can really explain to the rest, especially to our elders who may be having eye problems in terms of reading because of age. So go to that website, get the document and read it. But the president has been very clear when it comes to getting the 100 million per village. Don't forget that he has also talked about the 1 million graduate grant. Every graduate on your graduation day, so long as you have prepared yourself, presented a proposal on how you can invest the 1 million and make it productive for yourself as you seek for the jobs that may be one. That man report, the Auditor General's reports every year. There are a lot of money, trillions that are wasted in corruption. There are a lot of trillions that are wasted in unnecessary exorbitant expenditures by the government. So for us, we are saying that, guess what? What we shall do when we take over leadership, he has told you we need 2 MPs per district. We don't need, like, for example, in Kamuli, where I come from, we have 5 constituencies. So 5 MPs from a district, a smaller district, 5 MPs, and there are even a discussion that they should split it and maybe they get more constituencies. What are these MPs doing in parliament? The other report, which was released by media, I think one of the media houses here, the press, they brought out a report that they released that in 3 years, there are some MPs who have spoken once, others have never spoken, but these are the people who are getting the highest salary in this country, 30 million, and that's where we are. So we are saying that let these expenditures be cut down. The money is going to be available. If we are saying that we are cutting this parliament, which is 500 now, and now we are saying that we have 146 districts, every district 2 MPs, we shall have how many MPs? And this salary, which is going there, the 30, and we only talk about the salary, but people don't know about the allowances, the weekly allowances, the what. So you'll find that one person is earning around 50 million in 1 month. So when we cut all that expenditure, the money is going to be available to give the villages. When we cut such exorbitant expenditures, the money is going to be available to give the graduate. So
you're talking about cutting unnecessary expenditures.
Unnecessary expenditures and making sure that there is we minimize corruption. We
minimize corruption.
And the money will be
Now,
around.
a quick one before you go for a break. I want to bring in Ismail here. Every candidate has spoken to the press. Questions have been asked, and we are eager waiting for manifestos. FDC have a manifesto. Do Ugandans, you've been in the politics of this country for some time, and I believe you also respond to this. Do Ugandans vote manifestos? Do we vote basing on what someone is going to do for us? Do manifestos mean much in Uganda's politics?
Well, thank you so much. To be on point, Ugandans stopped voting manifesto. I think it was in 2011. That's when they stopped voting manifestos. You know, President Museveni has led Uganda for many years. And many Ugandans have reached a point of just hatred for him as a person. They have issues, but some issues are substandard, basing on how I've analyzed it for you, the opposition and him as a person. Now, they have reached a situation of just saying that actually we are tired of this man. So in 2026, they saw Dr. Kizza Besigye as a person who has been with him, is a fellow army man, said, how this one can remove him.
Not what is in the manifesto.
Not what is in the manifesto. They did what they used, saw what will happen. We left that campaign. We went to 2011. It was the same story. Now, the situation wasn't in 2016. When people had blacked out as far as analyzing someone's manifesto is concerned, they went now to, yes, Right Honorable Amama Mbabas has come, this person has been with him, this person has been the planner, this person, they are not having the issues. There is no person actually who spoke issues about Right Honorable Amama Mbabas. But they were analyzing him as a person who has been with the President Museveni, as a person who has been funding President Museveni, as a person who has been at the architecture of President Museveni. So he can remove him. You understand? Now, 2021 now brought issues.
The wave.
The wave. This is a young man. This is a musician who is popular. This is a person who was the most of the ghetto people. So, we now have President Museveni. We are going to have him, we are going to handle him, and he's going. You understand? Now, Ugandans who analyze manifestos, they are the elites. And in Uganda, voters are not the elites. You understand? The voters are these people, the local people. Those who go to the market, those who sell in the markets, those who are in those slums, you understand? But those are the people who are not analyzing the manifesto. And you'll find few people who will analyze Nandala Mafabi's manifesto. They will hardly actually bring out one point about Nandala. But at this point, we would have analyzed. President Museveni has been in power for 40 years. Nandala Mafabi has talked about cooperatives. What has President Museveni done about the cooperatives? Why are they now dying out for the last 40 years? You understand? As far as corruption, Nandala Mafabi has talked about corruption. Why is it that actually corruption is still on and President Museveni is still coming back? You understand? So, to make my point rest, because of the overstay of President Museveni, it has made people forget about issues and just actually move about personalities and personalities and waves, which actually don't make any sense in the elections.
Well, a very interesting insight into whether Ugandans vote manifestos. And of course, that comes with the background that Honorable Nandala Mafabi, now a presidential candidate, looked at it that way. Allow me to go for a very short break. We'll return shortly.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800-335555.
Pick of the day on UBC.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't go.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000. Or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Taxation is a bit complicated, and the only way to demystify it and make it as easy to understand and to comply with is through engagement. Is there a limit to the number of cars a returning citizen is bringing into Uganda? Who has paid the excise duty on this water is not the supermarket which has sold you this bottle at 1,000. It's not the business, it is the man who is going to drink this water. We strongly believe that it will only be through such constructive engagement that we'll be able to broaden our tax base and build our country together.
Buza Commissioner. Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world. holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Maskari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archived stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Every Wednesday, live in our studios in the heart of Kampala.
We have to change the political culture in this country, really. Who has bewitched Ugandans?
I want to assure you, as government, we shall do whatever it takes to ensure that Ugandans are safe.
We have conversations that have analysis, explanation.
This law society, this union of theirs, because they want a job everywhere, they want to be this, they want to be that, they want... No. We know it's a union.
You cannot be making a road, bitumen grade 1, in Congo for 5 billion.
But not every truth is fact, and not every fact is truth.
The argument that the General Court Martial is responsible for peace and stability is without basis, either in law or in fact.
We have been told how Napoleon was a great orator. Now, Napoleon cannot help me get food. They told me combine harvest in Saskatchewan. I don't know where Saskatchewan is. This is a geography we're taught. Instead of teaching me how to preserve Mabera forest, they're teaching me about Rhineland. This is a problem we got. We cannot run away from it.
Right now, you hear very disgusting stories of members of parliament. Instead of discussing the details of loans, they ask for their cuts.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
Broadcaster, UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Amaina gange ndi namaganda Mariamu Monda, myoga jaida. Emyoga ijitandika okuida. Nafunamu esente. Bampa yakakayirako esente. Bwe bampa akakayirako esente nayiye ekyokukola. Nasookera ku mutyere. Omutyere gwapanga beeyi n'aguvwako. N'anoonya omwana. Twageddaga n'amagezi n'agema esente edo n'amuwa yaje yagula supeya ow'ebyuma muno pikipiki n'obugaali buti saawa eno ndi kuyiiya okuleeta ebyuma ebimala ku bwe n'abakabiri bampaireyo ku esente n'akuba okunoonya y'abaana babeegeresenga gano okukanika ki pikipiki era bali kujja mpolampola nga bakanika era esente bwe tunaaba tudifuna nenda kwongera mu maani mu sente bwe naaba ndifunye twongeremu ntewo bizinensi emala nenda okwebaza gavumenti egiira okutulowoozaako niife abaagansi mu kyalo okufuna esente kuba twalinga n'esente nga tulumukira mu banka bugiri buti baida ku numba ng'eno najjayo ku bwe baida ku numba baida kutaa ku bigandiiko aye dino tutwalayo mpolampola nenda okwebaza gavumenti olw'okulowooza ku nsonga eyo mukama abawa omukisa.
Hello, hamjambo. My name is Twea. Welcome to Swahili with Twea. Let's look at Swahili phrases for daily use. Jina. Jina. Name. Jina langu. Jina langu. My name. Jina langu ni Twea. Jina langu ni Twea. My name is Twea. Jina lako. Jina lako. Your name. Jina lako ni nani? Jina lako ni nani? What is your name? Jina langu ni. Jina langu ni. My name is. Jina lake. Jina lake. His or her name. Jina lake ni nani? Jina lake ni nani?